book a hotel room that's initially advertised as $200 per night and suddenly it's ballooned up to $250 per night, that could certainly be because of taxes, but it might also be because of resort fees. Today, I'm going to talk about why these resort fees exist, how to avoid them, or at least how to better account for them in your vacation budget. Now, I call these things resort fees, but they might also be lopped into your bill as something like amenity fees, destination fees, facility fees, especially if the hotel isn't actually a resort. It might be referred to as something different, but these are all basically just resort fees, and they are nasty, often hidden fees. They can typically cost between $20 and $50 per night. They can vary widely in price, but they can also vary widely as a percentage of your overall vacation budget. NerdWallet analyzed more than 100 hotels around the US with January 2023 check-in dates. Among the hotels that charge resort fees, the average resort fee was $42.41. Relative to the room rate, resort fees averaged 11% of the overall cost to stay at the hotel each night. The first known resort fees sprung up in 1997, and it didn't take long for consumers to start complaining about these. In fact, in 2012, the Federal Trade Commission sent notices to 22 properties telling them that they had to adjust their billing practices for being unfair or hidden to consumers. Consumers were complaining about these fees because they were so hidden, and I'm certainly not above complaining about these fees. They often are not represented up front in my bill. Sometimes they cover things that I don't actually even use myself, and even though they're called resort fees, they often cover expenses that aren't resort-like in any way. So what do these fees actually cover? Well, some of them do actually cover truly resort-style fees. I'm talking about things like fitness classes, maybe cocktail making classes, there might be hula lessons, there might be different activities for the kids, there could be a pool, there could be mini golf, there could be bike rentals. All of these things are often wrapped up in your resort fee. Now, that's all good, but then there are other properties that charge resort fees for things that feel pretty basic. I'm talking like 2 free water bottles, use of the room phone. Most people have their own smartphones that they're not even using the room phone anyway, or they might cover things like Wi-Fi. The reality is Wi-Fi seems like it's required. In fact, my own grocery store offers free Wi-Fi. So let's talk about why hotels charge resort fees. I typically think of 3 reasons why hotels do this. Now, the first, maybe most optimistic reason is purely for your enjoyment. They offer all of these amazing amenities and you have an amazing trip. A lot of hotels will actually say that they want you to take advantage of these amenities. Even if the cocktail class costs them something, they want you to truly do it because it means that you'll have an amazing trip, you'll write a positive review, which helps them, you might become a repeat visitor. Now, some of these hotels tell me that if they don't charge these resort fees, people don't actually take advantage of these really fun, positive amenities. But if you know you're being charged $40 for this hula class, so you might as well take the hula class anyway, then you're more inclined to actually do it and have a positive experience at that hotel. But that's not the only reason why hotels charge resort fees, especially at those hotels that don't provide resort-like amenities at all. There are other reasons why they do this. One is to get you to book in the first place, and particularly to get you to book something that you might not have otherwise because you saw the cost. So let's say you have a hotel room budget of $200. That hotel room that's $200 with the $50 resort fee is something that you might stumble upon. If you're searching on an online travel agency, you say, my max price is $200. You find this hotel, you fall in love with it. You see the photos, you go to the booking page, suddenly you realize it's not actually $200, it's $250 when you account for that resort fee. But at that point, you're set, you've committed, you've planned your trip around this, you are willing to go over budget, pay that $50 for the hotel that you love. If it was listed at $250, you would have not have found it in the first place. Another reason why hotels charge resort fees has to do with commissions. It's fairly common for hotels to pay commissions to travel agents or online travel agencies for the hotel that you booked. Let's just say that their commission rate is 5%. So if you have a hotel room that's listed as $200 with a $50 resort fee, then they'll typically pay a 5% commission on that $200, so that's $10. However, if the hotel room rate is listed as $250, then they'll owe that 5% commission on that. That's $12.50. Well, guess what? That extra $2.50 has to come from somewhere, and it's pretty likely that hotel is just going to pass on that cost to you, the consumer. Because resort fees are required at hotels I charge them, avoiding paying them can be pretty tricky, but it is possible. Here are a few ways to avoid paying resort fees. The first one is to book rooms on points. Many hotel brands, including Hilton and Hyatt, don't charge resort fees on rooms that are booked on points. Especially if you're comparing two different hotels, one has a resort fee and one doesn't, but their points redemption rate is the same. This can actually make the hotel that does charge resort fees a more valuable use of your points. NerdWallet's got point calculators on its site that can help you understand the value of your points, but often using points at resorts is a really good redemption. Another way you can sometimes avoid resort fees is by holding hotel elite status. Not all hotels and not all elite status programs will waive resort fees, but for example, Hyatt waives resort fees for its elite status members who have globalist status or higher. Then there are a few other ways that you can avoid resort fees. One of them is by using travel statement credits. You won't exactly avoid the resort fee, but these credits will actually just provide a statement credit to your bank account if you pay for them with certain travel credit cards. I'm talking about cards like the Chase Sapphire Reserve, which offers a $300 annual travel statement credit. This travel statement credit is pretty broad. It covers everything from buses to ferries to flights, and often it'll cover your resort fee. So while you won't get out of paying the resort fee completely, it can feel nice to know that the benefit on your credit card covered it, so you don't have to pay for it with cash out of pocket. My next piece of advice is to actually make your case in person to not pay that resort fee. Of course, this strategy means your mileage may vary. Not every hotel will offer this. Even the front desk person who you're making your case to might not even have the power to waive your resort fee, but I do think it's worth asking, and it's worth asking politely, especially if you have a great case to be made. Let's say that you checked in at 11 p.m., you're checking out tomorrow at 6 a.m., so you of course had no time to even use that resort pool. In fact, the resort pool was closed when you were there. This might be a way to actually make that case in person. Of course, my final piece of advice for avoiding resort fees is to avoid staying at hotels that charge them. Still, a very small percent of hotels actually do charge them, so it is easy to find properties that won't give you this hidden extra charge. Even in big resort areas like Hawaii and Las Vegas, there are properties out there that don't charge resort fees. I say if you're really rubbed the wrong way by resort fees, book at these places. Often your strongest voice is your dollar. I'm Sally French, a travel writer at NerdWallet. The top hotel amenity that I ever experienced was an outrigger canoe ride where we paddled with dolphins. If you enjoyed this video, please make sure to like and subscribe.